Hi, girls. Are you girls having a play day today? Oh, you guys like each other. Naya, you're as big as Leica now. Yeah. 7 months old, as big as the 3-year-old. Look at you, baby. Anyway, Daddy's got stuff to do. I'll see you later. Oh, girl. You just talk and talk. You just talk. You're starting everybody. You're starting everybody. Oh, goodness. Oh, puffy girl. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, Uni. Oh, my goodness. Oh, tell the world. Tell the world. Yeah. Sing a song. I was just looking to get some video of Nikki, because I want to tell you a story about Nikki. And then one of my kids said, "Hey, Dad, we're in the 1 acre, and so I'm going to come see." And they're by Nikki, so that's perfect because I wanted to show you. So, yeah. So anyway, it looks like Thunder and Forest are over here, so I'll go see them. Now this is our fun time acre. This is our little wolfie park, our doggy park. So it's just an acre that kids just get to play in. It's not something that we have animals living in ever. Well, hello. Were you talking to me? How's it going, boy? Hi. Well, come here. What's up, Forrest? Oh, you're talking to your sister. So, Savannah. So this is Forrest here, and this is Savannah, his sister. Hi, baby. Hi, Forrest. What are you guys doing? You having a good day? Huh? Thunder, are you flirting with Savannah? Oh, you got something going on there, buddy? Now, Savannah was Stormy's girlfriend for 6 years. They had a horrible breakup. I mean, like, crazy bad breakup. And he always wanted to go and move in with Thunder and Forrest and Alice, but I'm like, no, you boys will fight. There's no way you're doing that. And then I see Mr. Thunder here flirting with Savannah. You got a little love connection going on. So you guys just like patrolling the grounds and just checking on everybody? Is that what you guys are doing? You're hanging out by Mr. Nikki. So this is Nikki. Nikki is a very old man, but when he was a younger man, oh, he was so handsome, and what an incredibly feisty guy. But now he's like 15, I'm guessing. Doesn't do much, doesn't get around much. But boy, he was an ornery guy. No one could actually go in here. But I'm gonna head out to the woods and tell you that story. So hang with me, and we'll go out in the woods, because I've also got to go and pick up some stones out of my woods, because I want to take them to finish out Naya and Flurry's house. So that's what's going on next. Oh, so once again, I am driving through my woods, getting ready to find a quarry of stones. It's always a slow and bumpy ride, and then it's negotiating space between trees, which is kind of tough because there's a lot of trees in this little forest. So I've got a specific place in mind. It's just that I don't have a particular path to get there, so I'm sort of making a path, but I've got to watch out for, logs and arroyos and different things. Well, now I have found a spot. I got some stones here. I want to get a lot of big ones. See, there's a few big ones out here. I may have to go to a couple different places. My concern is this: does this truck have enough fuel in it to make sure I can get back home and I have to walk Well, but before I go to pick up stones, I do want to tell you a story because I promised you a story. So I'll set this phone up somewhere so I can. Hi guys, how's it going? Hi bud boy, how's my valley? Hi Poohhead, what's up? You guys coming out to hang out with me? Huh? Oh, you coming to hang out? What? Believe it or not, it's actually a little warm, so I'm going to take a couple layers off. That's how we do it here in New Mexico. You start heavy and work your way off. So I gotta take a couple shirts off. Alrighty. Well, I guess I actually can just walk and talk for a minute, because usually when I'm on stage and I'm telling stories, I'm just pacing back and forth and I'm pretty animated. And so, by the way, you know, if you have a venue, I am for hire. I have a lot of great stories, and I'd love to share them with you and any group that you might be involved in. So anyway, I just showed you Mr. Nikki, and as I mentioned, when he was a young man, he was a very vibrant man. He was brought to us by this tiny little Hispanic lady out of El Paso, and she had essentially rescued Nikki from, I guess, some teenagers who thought it would be cool to have a wolf dog, and he was, you know, quite a handful, and ended up just, I don't know, maybe just getting caged. So anyway, she took him away and kept her at, I think, like her sister's backyard, and that was very convenient and worked out well for him until for some reason the sister had to sell the house or some situation. You know how life is. And so she called us, and I said, yes, we can have Nikki, we'll bring him out. So she brings out this guy, and she explains to us that he's a really tough guy. He does bites very hard. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, we're pretty used to that. And we put him in one of our quarantine pens for the moment, and for a few weeks. And he was a tough guy. I went in first and took care of him, and he seemed pretty okay. And as the weeks went by, he got better and better, and then we felt he was good enough for some volunteers to go ahead and get trained on him. And he began to get trained, and things went well for just a few weeks, and then it seemed like he needed more. And the volunteers were like, we're not going to work with that guy. He's too scary, he's too bitey, and it's just not safe. And I have to respect that, so I went ahead and took over again, working with Nikki. And finally, we were able to move him. Excuse me. We were able to move him into a larger habitat. And we got him a great girlfriend, Makai. And things were quite well. And it was August of 2006. Don't remember the exact day, but August of 2006. I was taking care of Nikki. And so every day when we go in to feed and clean, we have a bucket, a hoe, and a shovel. And those are very common instruments that we take in every day. And we use them also sometimes as a barricade. We would never hit an animal with them. We simply just tap the shovel on the ground, and typically an animal will back off. So when we have a tough guy like Nikki, it's good to keep your tools in your hand and your bucket close by when picking up poo. And though each morning he loved to just dance and play, so I would usually just set my bucket and my shovel aside, and just by keeping my hoe in my hand as a barrier between he and I, which he totally respected, we could goof off. We'd run around the habitat. He would chase me, I would chase him. He loved the game. I would jump up on the doghouse, he'd jump up on after me, and it was just a fun game. And that morning of August in 2006, we played that game, no big deal. But his previous owner, the lady who had rescued him, was coming that day. And so I was kind of like, working out the piss and vinegar in him for when they arrived. So it was going to be her and her son, Johnny. And so they arrived, and they had come previous 2 other times, and they did the same thing this time as they had done those other previous times. Is when they got there, they put on a whole bunch of clothes. They layered up, and they put jackets on, because they knew Nikki was a hard biter, but they wanted to spend time with him. So they layered up, and went into play. And we just before they went into play, she and I were talking, and I said, "Yeah, I was just playing with him this morning. He's fun. He's a good guy." And so they went in, and they're enjoying some time with Nikki. And I forgot the lady's name, but she comes out and she says, "Hey, I don't see Nikki's toy," because he had a toy that he arrived with that he really loved. And I said, "Oh no, it's back there. I'll show you." So she and I walked into Nikki's habitat, and the voice inside my head, please, always listen to that little voice in your head, or the one in your heart, or the one in your gut. It's really super important. Don't ignore it. In this case, I ignored it. And what the voice said is, "You're not carrying a shovel or a hoe or a bucket. Those are the familiar things that when you come in, you carry one of those things. You're not carrying it." And I went, whatever, little voice in the head. I don't need it. We were playing this morning, plus she's here with me, and I'm just going to show her where the toy is. So as we walk in, Johnny is playing with Nikki up against the fence line. And Nikki's actually upside down, and Johnny's rubbing his belly. And we walk in just a few, maybe like 20 yards, right? And I see the toy in the back, and I say, "Oh, there it is right there." And as I point, "Oh, there it is right there." And as I dropped my hand, as it came down, Nikki got up from laying down on his back and getting a belly rub. He got up and he rushed over. And as my hand was dropping from pointing, he grabbed my hand, and oh my gosh, he grabbed this hand so hard, and he actually punctured right through the webbing. You can't see it in the video, but there is a scar right there. The webbing went all the way through my hand. And when he hit me that hard, I knew I was in trouble. So the next thing he did is he ran around and he sliced me open right here. Whoosh, just sliced my leg right open. And I knew he hit me. I didn't know what kind of damage was done, but I also knew I'm in trouble. And now the only thing I can think of, because I am now so far into the habitat, I just can't turn and run. Because if I did, he would be on my back and he would hurt me bad. So what I thought I could do is initiate some play. He's already having a good time with Johnny, and we had a good time that morning. So, hey, I'm like doing the play bow. "Come on, man, play with me." And he's like, "No, I'm killing you." and so I'm running around the doghouse, and he's chasing me, and I'm like, "Oh, this isn't going to work out." So what I ended up doing is I jumped up on top of the doghouse, and as I landed on top of the doghouse, it broke, and my foot went right through the doghouse. And now I'm basically waist deep in this 4 foot high, 8 foot long, 4 foot wide doghouse. And I know now that my face is vulnerable. The next thing he could do is jump up on that doghouse and bite my face off. So what I'm doing is I'm scrambling to get up out of the hole and get off of this doghouse and make it to the gate. But I didn't make it. I got out of the hole, and as I was trying to get off of the doghouse, I'm literally just like sitting on the edge of the doghouse, holding on, because I know now I'm about to fall off the doghouse and land with my butt on the ground, and he's gonna bite my face off. So I'm literally, I'll use the pickup truck. So I'm literally on the edge, like holding on, like, oh my God, I'm gonna fall off this house. I'm holding on as best I can, and he's pleasantly eating, he's chewing the crap out of my right leg. He's just biting the crap out of my right leg. And so with my left foot, I'm kicking him in the face, and I'm thinking in my head, I need someone to open up the gates so I can make a beeline for it. But I know that the interior gate latch is very hard to open. And I swear to you, I was screaming to my staff and volunteers who were outside the habitat watching this happen. And they're screaming, and they're throwing hose, and they're pounding on the fence. "Stop, Nikki, stop." And I'm screaming, "Open the fucking gate, open." But I wasn't. They said, "No, we didn't hear nothing." It was in my head. I was screaming in my head, "Open the gate," because I knew that in order to get out of here, someone's gonna have to open that gate so I can run as fast as I can and get out. And so now as I'm kicking him with my left foot, he redirects his attention from my right leg to my left and begins to eat my left leg fast and furious. And still my volunteers are screaming. In my head I'm screaming. and then I hear the lady say to her son, Johnny, just grab him. And like freaking magic, right? So like freaking magic, when Johnny grabs Nikki forgets all about me. He's like, oh, let's go play. And I get up and man, I run full speed out of that habitat, and believe me, that gate opened swiftly this time. And because I have just major adrenaline rush, right? So the next thing, I rush out, and I'm down like this on my knees, and I look down at my leg right here, and I see something I had only seen in the movies before. There's literally blood like squirting out of my leg. And so I just basically take and I jam my thumb into my leg. So I grab my radio. And I say, okay, everybody, drop what you're doing. Just drop everything. Get a car, grab a emergency medical kit, and get to Nikki's habitat. And what I didn't say is grab a camera. And what was happening at the moment is Allison was actually coming up with her camera, but because I said drop everything, she dropped the camera and jumped in, got the first aid kit, jumped in another girl's car, Mary's car, and they rushed over to where I was. And then, then it was like little pieces of chaos where I totally remember they say, what do we do? And I said, well, cut my pants off below the knees, girls. Pull my boots off. My boot was filled with blood. It was literally pouring out blood. And then I hear Angel say, oh my God, you're gushing over here. And what do I do? And I already had my thumb. My thumb is embedded in the side of my leg, and on my left leg, and it was my right leg that was gushing, where he had come run around and sliced my leg open. And she said, oh my God, you're gushing over here. What do I do? I said, just jam your hand in it. Just jam your hand in it. And later she's like, wow, my hand fit perfectly right in that wound. So they get me bandaged up, and the girls picked me up. They literally picked me up and put me in the car. So my instructions were, okay, Angel, I need you to call Zuni Hospital. Just say these words. Wolf Daddy is on his way to the emergency. They'll totally know what's going on because it ain't the first rodeo, right? And I said, then call my wife and tell her these things. I'm okay. I'll be at the hospital. Bring a camera. Now, the whole bringing a camera was so important to me because I want to document my boo-boo. When we make these mistakes by not listening to what's being said in our head, then we need to document that stuff. So, and I didn't want anyone working on me and touching my body until we'd had some photos. Not pretty, but it was important to document it. The doctor and the nurse that was there at the hospital were pissed at me because I wouldn't let them touch me. I'm like, dude, to the nurse, I'm like, dude, there's a camera somewhere in this building. Find it, get it. And so he does. He finds me a Polaroid of all things. By the time he had found me the Polaroid, Georgia had showed up and we got the pictures. But the doctor was pissed because I wouldn't let her touch me until I got the camera. So she just left me aside and waited for about an hour. But hey, here's the important thing also, just so you know. I have been attacked a couple times, like ferociously, and it doesn't hurt. I'm just going to tell you right now, there's no pain. It's after the event is over, that's when the pain hits. And believe me, we're talking, baby, that was some kind of pain. So wolves and some wolf dogs have up to 1,500 pounds per square inch bite. That's enough to break a femur of an elk. Now, when an animal is biting like that, like he was biting at me, he's not giving me 1,500 pounds per square inch. There's just no way. He's probably giving me close to 700, 800 pounds. and he's biting hard because he wants to pull flesh from me. Fortunately, he didn't actually get to pull flesh, but what that 700 to 800 pound per square inch bite did is it crushed my calves. So it's a crushing wound. Aside from the lacerations and the punctures, the worst part was the actual crushing. Excuse me. Yeah, I got a few stitches, and I do have pretty much the ugliest legs from the knee down that anybody's got, because when he crushed my calves and all the muscles that surround my shin, he broke so many blood vessels that today I've got like these weird purple scarrings and really bad ugly veins and you can see where veins have collected in some of the dents. It's just really, I don't need to tell you anymore. I have the ugliest legs ever, okay? And so I was incapacitated. I could not even put my feet on the floor without excruciating pain. No way I could walk for 5 weeks. And then I walked with a walker. And I finally came to work about a month and a half later or so with a cane and in tennis shoes instead of my boots. And then everybody teased me that I reminded them of House because I'm walking with a cane and I got a bad attitude and I got tennis shoes on. So I think that's the whole story. I was really hoping to find some other clips, but you can see what went on. But I hope you've enjoyed that story, and really the life lesson for this is listen to that intuitive voice that I talked about in the Mr. Centipede story, which I completely ignored, because that's what we do so often. We so often ignore that inkling, that intuition, that gut feeling. Let's learn to not ignore that feeling. It doesn't matter how minute it is, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're in a relationship with a human or an animal, or you're in a city, in the streets, or in a shopping mall. If you get that little voice saying don't do this or go do that, just go do it. We all know it's so much better when we do. And we've all had it. We've all heard that little voice and we've all ignored it. And in this case, it sent me to the hospital, cost thousands of dollars, and it put me out of work for a great long time. I did learn a lesson, and I can laugh about it today because it was many years ago. But anyway, that's my story. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm going to get over here and start picking up some of these stones because I've been talking too long. But thank you. I love you. Share. And remember, when you get a chance, check out my Patreon link. Check out the links I have in the description below. Find out how you can help Wolf Daddy, and you can help hear more stories and keep me working and keep me fed, because this is not a get-rich-quick job. This is a stay hungry for a long time experience. So check out my links down below, and I love you. Take care. Share. And remember, thumbs up, thumbs down if you just hate wolves and stories suck for you. I don't know, man. But give me the thumbs up. I love you.